All right, what's up, people? Happy Sunday. You're listening to another edition of Real Talk. This is another edition of Real Talk with the director. I am the director. And this is a special edition of Real Talk that we like to refer to as the director's cut. You're watching and listening to Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. Once again, happy Sunday, everybody. Just wanted to talk about a few things here. Should be interesting thing. Have a few not a few guests, but normally we do our panel. So these are like our normals. This will be her second time on, and of course Kev is going to be joining us, and we'll get it in. But today we got some good stuff to talk about. Number one, it's been buzzing around the industry, and we'll get into it. I'll bring in my panelists. It's been a rumor circulating the industry that Beyonce, Queen Bey, whatever y'all refer to her as, Queen B, Queen Bey. Well, Queen B is Lil' Kim. But anyway, Beyonce the rumor is that she has joined the Black Panther 2. She has joined Black Panther 2. That is the actual headline. Beyonce joins Black Panther 2. Then the question mark is, will she be cast as Storm in Black Panther 2? So the internet has lost its mind on both ends. You got the Beehive and all of these, Beyonce stans that are going crazy, saying, yeah, yes, Beyonce, yes, Queen, all that other stuff, right? So then you got the people who are like, what? No, man. God, no, right? They actually have a petition that's going around. It's got like 15,000 signatures last time I looked. There's a petition going around for Beyonce not to join the Black Panther cast. It's actually pretty funny. Well, we're here to talk to you guys about a few things about that. Maybe debunk a few things. And another topic we'll be talking about is, in light of that, what we are going to do is give you our top picks for who should be cast as Storm in the MCU movie, whichever movie she shows up in. I'm putting my money on that she shows up in Black Panther 2 because that hasn't been confirmed yet, folks. So let's not forget, it hasn't been confirmed. But that would be the most logical. It would be the most, it would make the most sense if she showed up in Black Panther 2. So we'll give our top picks, our top 3 picks, 3, 4, whatever you got to bring to the table. And rounding off the conversation today, we're going to talk about, as we always talked about, the Snyder Cut. Last week we talked about that, but this time we're going to talk about Geoff Johns. Okay, Geoff Johns was, if people don't know who he is an executive. He's an artist. I mean, he's a writer. I don't know if he's actually an artist. He's a writer for comic books. A great comic book writer, actually. And he's over at DC, and he was at one point what everyone thought he would be, the actual Kevin Feige of the DCEU, just like how Kevin Feige is the head of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was believed that Geoff Johns would be the Kevin Feige of DC, of the DC Extended Universe. It made sense at the time, but since then, a lot has happened. We got the Zack Snyder snuff, snub, I should say. Now he's back. We got the Snyder cut coming, so trying to make amends. AT&T swooped in, and they have they acquired Warner Brothers, and they're trying to right their wrongs. Brought back Superman, as Gina Lou called him, Superman, and he's back, and the Snyder cut. So now Geoff Johns, if we find out now, little by little, that Geoff Johns might have had a big part, or allegedly had a big part in them letting go of Zack Snyder, getting Zack Snyder ousted. And we want to know why. We want to discuss it. We got some receipts we bringing with us, but and we'll go from there. It should be a fun discussion today. You are tuned in to Real Talk, the director's cut, and it should be fun. But before I do all of that, I'm gonna bring in my guests, and as we had before, the lovely actress, producer, director. She's all of that. She's doing her thing. Miss Gina Lewis with us today. Again, I appreciate you coming back. Thank you. Welcome. Listen, let me unmute you. I think you're muted.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Got you. Thank you.
Thanks for
coming back. Appreciate you. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Scorpio. My man Kev is in the building.
What's good, people? What's going on, Gina? What's going on, Wes? I only got to say one thing. No Beyonce, no Beyonce, no Beyonce, no Beyonce. If you like it, then don't put her in Black Panther. If you like it, then don't put her in Black Panther.
So no Beyonce, right? So it was and that's funny because that's coming from a person who is a Beyonce fan.
Very much so.
He's constantly defending Beyonce. So Beehive, don't come after him because he's constantly defending Beyonce. But truth is truth now. You can't lie to yourself. All right. Because the Beehive, they think that Beyonce is the greatest actress and everything. They think that she does everything perfect. So that's not necessarily true. But let me just see here. I want to just adjust my headphones here. Give me a second.
Oh, sure, my
let's get that. Okay, that's there. I'll put headphones on. Cool. Now we're good. Yeah. So that's what we'll talk about. So we'll make that the first talk, since that seemed to be the hot topic of the week. People was going. Now I've had people on both ends. That's I got some Beyonce fans or Beyonce stans that are just like, I'm talking about the stalker fans, the stans that's like calls Blue Ivy their niece, and and stuff like that.
Lord help them.
Yeah. Please bless their hearts. But yeah, they're like, oh, my niece, Blue Ivy. I'm like, okay. So, but they're excited. They're thinking, hey, when this rumor came out about Beyonce possibly joining, or not even possibly, the rumor was Beyonce has joined Black Panther 2. Now, here's the funny thing. I want to focus on the headline. The headline read, Beyonce joins Black Panther 2. And then it says, possible Storm, cast for Storm, ? Now, the headline was deceiving. So I'm here to tell people, relax. All right. Beyonce, it's not confirmed that Beyonce has joined Black Panther 2. There were early talks about her possibly working on the soundtrack, and maybe even possibly having, like, overseeing, like getting the soundtrack, like the whole soundtrack, like what Kendrick Lamar did and stuff like that. But her kind of like controlling it, maybe executive producing it. So now they're saying that she's joined because, you know, she just did that big deal with Disney where she's going to, you know, it's like $100 million deal, something like that it works out to be with Disney, that she's going to appear in future projects, but that nothing has been confirmed what project. So they're going to go ahead. And then you have the Beyonce at one point. I think there was some pictures floating around when I think she might have dressed as Storm for like a Halloween costume or something like that. Yeah. Maybe once or something like that. And those pictures were flying around. So now everybody all of a sudden is like, she's definitely I think the PR people were just throwing a feeler out there because, you know, when I used to do Block TV and we did all of the red carpet stuff, we dealt with publicists all the time. And I know how publicists work. I know how they work. They charge an awful more than they should. Sorry, publicists, you do. And, you know, basically to kind of just throw, you know, not really, I'm gonna say to get paid to lie, but they kind of do. Not just get paid to lie, but they kind of like stir the pot, throw little things, that little white lies. They bend the truth a little bit, you know, because it may be talks that she's gonna join Black Panther, maybe for the soundtrack. But you notice they did not say Beyonce joins the cast of Black Panther. It does not say that.
Right.
Everything I saw said Beyonce joins Black Panther too. Which is, you know, that could be anything. Hell, she could be craft services and join Black Panther too.
I mean, I doubt it.
I'm just saying. I doubt it, but I'm just saying, you know. So that's just very vague, and that has PR person written all over it, throwing it out there, stir the pot, get her fans going crazy, and you know. So what do you guys? What was your first reaction? Because I'm gonna tell you mine, but I want to hear your first reactions when you first read or heard that headline. Gina, how was you?
I just felt like screaming, like, what? No, like, no way.
Yeah.
I was in disbelief because I didn't do my homework like you did. I didn't look at the way they worded it, or I didn't comb the internet to see what else I could find. I just saw the possibility, and I just did not want to. I wanted to unsee it. You know. Well, so
I agree with you. And shout out to Trisha. It's Trisha Berry, who's in the chat room over on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. She says, I love Beyonce, but she need some coaching lessons. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You are 100% absolutely right. And before I go into my Beyonce bashing, no, I'm joking. I mean, before I go into my Beyonce critique, I want to hear what we kind of already heard what Kev thought, but let's make it official, Kev. I think I posted that in our chat room because we always have our chat room where we post stories throughout the week, you know, to get ready for the shows. Right. I posted that in the chat room. What was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, huh? And I totally ignored it. Because I saw it. I actually saw it on my one of my Facebook friends, Nonchalant Nikki, posted it on her site. Okay. And I was like, okay, that's a rumor. That's some BS. I just, you know how when you see something, you just keep on scrolling. Like, nah, that ain't it. I don't believe that. and then Wes actually, then he posted it on his thing. And I'm like, this is true? I'm like, hell no. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, that's
listen.
What's interesting is a lot of the reaction has been no. Like, I want to say 90% of what I've read reactions have been absolutely not. No way.
Yeah. Most of the people that are reacting to it are saying no. The only people that are not saying no are like the really big Beyonce fans, and they're like,
Yeah.
how bad. I'm like, let me tell you something. All right, I'm just gonna say this, and this is true. Bottom line, if Beyonce is involved in the soundtrack, I don't know if I trust her with the entire soundtrack, but
one song.
Okay, I'll be even fair. Now, one thing I do know, if Beyonce was given the soundtrack, let's say they let her executive produce it, she's not going to want to blow this. So I believe she will make sure that she brings in the best writers, the best producers, and I would hope that she consults whoever is the composer,
which is probably going to be Ludwig.
Which would probably be Ludwig, yep. And just like what Kendrick Lamar did, you pointed that out before, Kev. Kendrick Lamar worked with Ludwig, that kind of, when they came up with all of that stuff. So she should consult whoever's going to be the composer, and I believe she would definitely go all out for it, because all of this negative backlash she's getting, she cannot blow that. She cannot get that soundtrack up. If she gets that soundtrack, she can't mess it up.
Listen, Beyonce can't even buy a plane ticket to Wakanda. They will be waiting for her. What are you doing? What are you doing? No.
Yeah. I'm saying that they asked it in the chat room, did we sign the petition? Someone said that. They said I signed the petition to kick Bay off Black Panther.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the conversation with her and Jay at breakfast?
I know, right? Right?
Yeah. So did you see what's on?
Blue Ivy's like, Mom, I don't think you should do it.
I don't think you should do it. Jay's like, yeah. Did you check what's going on? Chia. And she's like, yeah, nah, she probably, he's like, yeah, did you check the internet lately? They don't
he probably turned the Wi-Fi off and changed the password.
Exactly. They already avoid social media, so but the thing is, Beyonce she's nowhere near ready for something like that. Even if she was, be cast as anything, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to work out a cameo or something. But cameo's what? This is the only cameo I will accept Beyonce as. I will accept her. No, listen, I will accept her if there's like some sort of entertainment going on in the castle, for Wakanda. Or something like that.
The world right now is like this. No.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to look at the bright side. I'm trying to look at the glass half full. If this happens, now, the bottom line is, if you sign the petition, that's still circulating the internet. I thought that was hilarious. Mm-hmm. Do not let Beyonce be on Black Panther. It's more or less like don't let
her be on it at all.
Yeah, there's
they
a
don't want her on it at all
to get her out of it, because I believe it was created in the believing that she was part of the cast as Storm, because like I said, a PR person, they're so dirty sometimes, and they would they'll throw that out there just to see if what people think. Possible Storm, or it could have been clickbait. Could have been clickbait too. Let me go.
I think you hit it right on the head. I honestly believe, and I don't think it was Kevin Feige or anybody from the team, but I think somebody at Disney probably brainstormed in their head, like, it would really sell if Beyonce was in it. Mm-hmm. Almost looking at her as being, the typical like they used to do back in the 90s. Let's throw a rapper in there. He's only gonna have a cameo scene, but let's throw a rapper in there just to bring the draw to the theater.
Yeah.
Right.
And that film, Black Panther doesn't need any kind of draw. Just the star power that's already in the film is enough. Just the fact that it's Black Panther in itself is enough of a draw. And now you have the fan base that's come on board from the last film, on top of those of us that have already been fans from the comics and from the cartoons and what have you. So there's no. This is one of those. Black Panther at this point is one of those things. I'm going to even put it on par with the Avengers or like RoboCop or like Darkman. When you say, or Rambo, let's even say Rambo or Terminator. When you say Black Panther, that could be a franchise in itself. Like that's an automatic draw. New Black Panther movie coming out. Everybody's ears are perked up and their eyes are waiting. Who's directing? Who's writing? Ryan Coogler better be coming back. Angela Bassett better be back. You know,
there's certain expectations that fans are going to demand. First of all, Ryan Coogler, if he's not involved, which he is, of course, but if Ryan Coogler wasn't involved, this thing wouldn't make no money. I'm sorry, it wouldn't make any money because people would be like, "What?" I mean, he was the mastermind behind it the first time, and on top of that, there's been rumors and talks that Chadwick has not officially signed on yet. There's probably like a money situation going on. Yeah. Trust me, people, he's coming back. If he wasn't, Ryan wouldn't come back. Ryan wouldn't do it without him because Ryan is that type of dude. He is loyal. He's loyal. Mm-hmm. Look at what he did. He brought Michael B. Jordan to the project. He brought him to Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with Jordan on 2 previous films. You know what I'm saying? So 3 actually, if you count Creed 2. So you got Creed and Creed 2, and then you got Fruitvale. So he is he's one of those loyal dudes, man. So that I just don't see that happening. I don't see. He would take less money to make sure that Chad got the money he deserved. He would even do that just to bring him back. But I don't think Disney. There's plenty of money going to go around. And let's be honest, Black Panther was your second highest earning film that year behind Infinity War or whatever, or Endgame. It's second or third. I know you had Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Panther. Those were the ones that made all the money. You know? Yeah,
and then Captain Marvel. And then Captain Marvel,
right. Captain Marvel actually sneakily kind of crept up and made some money. But the bottom line, she's like, yeah.
I didn't realize it was so loud on this thing.
That's all good. She's like, yeah. Yeah, you kind of just said what probably everyone else was thinking too. Yeah.
I actually like it.
Oh God. I don't even want to get on that. So, but I want to share something that was said. This was from the writer from Disney. He's on the writing teams of some of the Marvel films, Matt Donnelly. And right here, he says in a tweet, this kind of confirms what we were just talking about. He says, despite overwhelming excitement at the prospect, sources tell me there is no big Disney film deal for Beyonce, and she will not contribute to the soundtrack for Black Panther 2. As a self-professed proud member of the Disney family, it's likely she'll work with them again at some point. There you go. There's someone on the inside who said he said she doesn't even have a deal with this. He just says that she does not have. There's no big Disney film deal for Beyonce. So
then what? What's that based off then?
What I mean,
I'm wondering.
Maybe her deal involves like music and maybe stuff like that. I'm not sure what it exactly is based off of, but hey, this guy is an insider. I mean, he would not be representing Disney like that if he didn't have the go ahead.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't see. I can't see him name dropping Disney like that, and he don't have. You know, he ain't got the go ahead. He had to run that by at least Kevin Feige, or not. You know, not even him. Probably up higher. Bob Iger. Well, Iger's not the head no more, but one of them. He had to run it by before he drop a tweet like that, because you know tweets, you know, that's forever. I mean, they can delete it, but by that time, people have already screenshot it, like I just did.
Said, I remember you said, and here it is.
Yeah.
Boom.
There it is. There it is, right there. There's the receipts. It always happens. So, I don't know. I don't think it might just be. Like I said, man, and I don't want to turn this into a PR bashing, because I like PR. I like publicists. You know, they're like losers. They should be called illusionists, because that's what they are. They're like illusionists. You know, they like make you look better than what you are, and you know, and I mean that's what they get paid for, right? And but they're good at twisting things, you know, and. Like I said, it's just good ones
for the buck.
To the right.
Can we please keep it a buck? Beyonce's camp released that.
It probably did. Yeah, I said it's probably her camp, her publicist.
Probably, yeah.
People. That's probably straight from the PR people saying let's campaign for it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of different. But see, here's the funny thing. Now, normally when a celebrity wants to campaign for a role, they do it themselves. Like it seems more authentic when it comes to, like Tyrese wanted to play the Green Lantern, right? God forbid. But
Lord, no. Jesus, no.
At least he did, he put it out there himself, right?
Right. Even Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill, he put it out that he wanted to be the Witcher.
Yeah, he put it out there that he wanted to be the Witcher.
Yeah.
You have somebody else did it too. Just recently. Well, like Method Man. Method Man wants to play Bishop, right?
Yeah.
So he oh God. Boy, I tell you. I didn't mean for this to be so funny, but it is. Yeah, Method Man wants to play Bishop.
I'm down with that.
Come on, Gina. I love Meth. Meth is my man. West knows from back in the day we used to make beats. Listen, I patterned styles off of Method Man, but listen, he still has some work to do on his acting chops and his believability of the characters that he plays. His screen presence is dope, but it's just his believability factor is what he has to work on. I think he can pull. I'm not going to knock him and say he can't pull Bishop off, because A, he's a comic book fan. B, just like Olivia Munn brought out Psylocke and fought for that. I can see Method Man going to town and really putting in the work to make it happen.
Right.
Well, number one, he gonna have to bulk up a little bit to play.
Yeah.
Bishop is a lot of bit, exactly. Have to bulk up a lot of bit to play Bishop. That's number one. He might have to take a couple cycles or something. He might shoot a couple of cycles. Get some steroids because
you can put him on some Hulk sleeves.
Yeah, because he's not. Yeah, those big Hulk sleeves. Oh man, that's so bad. He might have to do that. That's one thing he's gonna have to do. But yes, now I've seen Method Man taking different roles where he's playing. I think it was a role where he played like a doctor or something, and there's like a role he did where he was a cop, like a detective or something. So he's trying to take different roles and expand his range, which is good. Is good. Yeah. And like you said, Kev,
Beyonce take notes.
Beyonce take notes, please. But see, someone in the chat room put out there too. They was like, Beyonce just thinks she's better than everybody else, so she don't do things the way everybody else do it. And I just paraphrased that. I didn't say that for sure. I don't want to quote people the wrong way, but my thing is this, and that's the truth though. Like the whole point of bringing that up is Beyonce. You don't see her humbling herself and just saying, "Hey, I want to play Storm. I'd like to play Storm. Maybe she can't take the backlash directly. It's like direct rejection. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you like me? Check yes, check no, check maybe. And then they scratch out maybe. You feel like shit afterwards. You're like, what the hell? They don't check yes, they don't check no. They don't even. They just scratch out maybe. They check no, right? So it's like so she don't want to direct rejection. Yeah, rejection. Possibly. But also, Beyonce, and I have to say this, and I say it all the time. I blame it on Jay. And I tell you why, because Jay is the one who started this Queen Bey, this Beyonce thing. He started that persona with her, and she was not like that before she actually got with him. She seemed more humble, even in her her awards speeches and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, I agree with that.
He's the one. He has to be the one because he started managing her. Remember, she fired her father, and he started managing her basically. So I believe that he's the one that kind of put that in her head and putting that narrative out there that she's this, that, the other. And then of course you got her stands that want to put it out there that she's the best thing since sliced bread. And I mean, granted, Beyonce. I'm not gonna attack Beyonce's overall ability and talent. She's very talented, very talented. You know what I mean? She does the things that she does. She does well, but she does not act. Acting is not one of those things that she does well. And it has nothing to do with just pure ability. I think it's just laziness. Like, she's Beyonce, so she can get a role because she's Beyonce. Right. But don't be lazy about it. Don't be lazy about it. I mean, come on. How many movies have you been in, Beyonce? I should look that up. How many movies you been in? All the movies you've been in.
4 or 5 of them, probably. Yeah. I want to say 4 or 5. Carmen.
Carmen, the Boston Power movie. The movie with Eddie Murphy, Dreamgirls. So yeah,
the Idris Elba movie.
And the one with Idris Elba, yeah.
So
5 movies altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's see, Beyonce. Let me just hit her up here.
But my main problem with her is that she doesn't want to put in the work, or she just chooses not to put in the work to expand her talent. I mean, even just getting a vocal coach just to help you limit your accent. I mean, people from England and from Europe that act, and from Australia, they come here and act as Americans,
right?
And they completely lose their accent. They work with a dialect coach to get rid of their accent.
Exactly. You cannot be serious about about that craft if you're not even gonna put in the work to lose your southern twang. You know what I mean? You can't. I mean, to me, her southern twang messed Nala up. I'm like, how you mess up a voice actor? How you mess up a voice thing? But because it's her voice. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I mean, she has a lot of credits on IMDb, but that's mostly because of like video things,
shows and
shows and stuff. But like you said, she's approximately in about 5 or 6, films.
And
that's enough for you to put the work in, Beyonce. Come on now. You could have, that what was that film? The film with Idris Elba.
Even that one, she was actually okay in that one. She was actually okay.
You want to see crazy? I'll show you crazy.
That was probably her better one.
I'll show you crazy.
And maybe because she had something to draw from in her life. I don't know.
Maybe, possibly. But I didn't like that film. Period. That was like a bootleg Fatal Attraction. But yeah, she like I said, she certain things if she could step into her role, like she was all right. I was okay with that, whatever. But the Austin Powers movie, she was whack in that. She was whack. She was whack. I'm sorry, but the character was built around her. It wasn't really any stretch. She didn't have to do anything. It's not like she was supposed to be like a British person or something like that. She's supposed to be like a chick from
just being herself.
Right.
She basically being herself, but just like a chick from the 70s, and with the afro, and I'm a whole lot of woman, and I'm just like, yes, that's whack. That was like, I don't know. That was just fan service right there, like people who wanted to go see that, but Beyonce she's just not ready for a role like Storm. Storm, hasn't really been done justice since ever. You know what I mean? So, and we know Halle Berry is a hell of an actress, but she and you could blame some of that on what she was given to work with as well, because when she finally demanded more screen time, she got X-Men 3. So with that. What I mean? There's only so much you can do, you can sprinkle sugar and honey on shit. It's still gonna be shit at the end of the day. So that's pretty much what happened with that film. But still, the character Aurora Monroe, she was never Storm, never really done right. Now the character we've always here's the thing, and me and Kev, we talked about this off air. The ironic thing about it is, and Kev, I remember when you brought that up, and Storm was actually is American. She was born, her background of her character, she was born in America, but she spent a good Harlem. All right, Harlem on the rise. You don't want no problem with these guys. So it's like she grew up basically in Cairo, in Egypt, right? The character has always been portrayed as having the African accent, even if it was a slight one on her, which Halle Berry completely abandoned. I don't know what. I was like, what the hell? She's like, no, this is my shit. Just, you know what? Screw this. We just gonna say the lines. She completely abandoned the accent.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as acting ability, yes, she was fine for that, but she completely abandoned the accent. So, but another thing is, I have to say it. I feel, and I'm being a purist here, but yeah, definitely Halle Berry was a little bit too light to play Storm. She needed to be about a shade and a half darker, at least, to play Storm. And I'm just going based on the characters, based on how she's drawn. She's never been drawn that light, what I mean? She's never been drawn that light, not on the cartoons, nothing. Everything that we know about Storm, and Storm, what people don't know is, she is a leader on her own too, because she had led the X-Men at some point. In a lot of the comics, even in the cartoons, they had it where she was leading, they had all that stuff. There's so many arcs with her where every film, I feel that they kind of tuck away Storm and she's kind of like a extra character. And, Halle Berry complained about it, but, some people Halle Berry complained about it, and, they gave her more lines, but it was too late. The horse was out of the barn at that point, So what I'm gonna say is, then the other girl comes along. What was her name?
Alexandra Shipp.
Alexandra Shipp. Alexandra Shipp. I'm putting the P there. I want to replace the P with the T, but it's okay. All right.
Well, listen, now you I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna play nice. Play nice.
I'll play nice.
That's all I'm saying.
Nice.
Play nice.
I
We got
like
company.
her.
Play nice.
She's okay. Yeah. We got company. So Alexandria Shipp. I'll be honest. I just don't think she was big enough for the role. Meaning, like, I think the role was too. Even though the role itself was minimized in those films, but I also believe it was minimized for a couple of reasons. I just don't think she was the person to be in that role either. I don't think she did that well with it. She did try to do the accent. She did a little something.
No, she did.
She put a little accent on.
Listen, stop.
She did a little something.
Stop it.
She did not do great with the accent at all. Let's not give her more than what it is. She did all right.
So how did she do on a scale 1 to 10 with the accent?
Oh, 8.
5.
Yeah, I think an 8 too.
Yeah. Bro, she did an 8. Listen,
6.5.
She was not clumsy with it. She was not clumsy with it.
She was consistent.
Say much. She had nothing to say.
Very consistent.
She didn't say much. She said a couple of words, and you could get that. You got months to practice. You got like 8 lines. You better have that damn accent right.
But listen, I mean, listen. They minimized the character. I'll put it like this. I wouldn't be upset if they brought her back and put her back in place of Storm.
Nah.
I wouldn't. I honestly, I think she deserves the shot if they're gonna put it together. Because the other thing too is, like I told you the other day on the phone, they didn't take Storm's character, and now that it's in the MCU, I think now it's time to where they can take these characters, particularly characters like Storm, and they can give them their backstories. They can work in their stories a little bit more. Give us a little bit more meat on the bone. Something for the actress to build off of. If you just stick her, listen, if you just stick her in the middle of a film, I mean, hell, they didn't even get the Phoenix right. They barely got that right in Age of Apocalypse. Just throw that in there. Like no build up.
They did not get that right at all. That's another whole story arc that none of the Fox team has ever got right. Is obviously Phoenix, but
but that's my point. She hasn't been granted. This is her first time getting a character. This is her first time seeing a character, or her first time portraying the character. But you can only do so much with the time that you're given. Even trying to make your screen presence known. If you're trying to portray and push your screen presence, but at the same time, the person that you're interacting with on screen is the larger character, is the main antagonist of the film, you're already going to be overshadowed. I mean, hell, he was, what did I call him? Apocalypse? The walking Stargate or whatever he was.
He was terrible. That dude was walking around preaching. What the hell? And that was a complete waste of a really good actor. That was such a waste of a great actor. But yes, I understand that you chalk it up to that, but I just don't think. I don't think she. It's time to move on. Get somebody that can really handle the role for sure, because she's not really proven, in my opinion. I saw her in the Aaliyah movie, and okay.
I think if we had gotten her first instead of Halle, it would have been a good fit for her then. Maybe, but now it's like the stakes for fans are getting higher and higher. We want the best now.
We want the best now. You know, you got now with that's like the MCU MO now, man. They and it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna bring in a superstar, but they're gonna bring in a good groomed, well actor to play these roles, because they know these films.
If they don't bring her back,
not bringing her back.
If they don't, I'm just being optimistic. I like living life with the glass 3/4 full.
Be realistic, not optimistic.
Listen, all right. Here's how realistic I'll be. There's a glass. There's some water in it. That's as realistic as I'm going to be.
Okay.
If they don't, I still think they're going to go with a new face. I don't think, because who really on the A list? Who on the A list? And literally on our A list of black actors.
Doesn't have to be an A-list because they put all the damn black actors in Black Panther. But no, they don't have to. It don't have to be an A-list person because let's be honest. Some of these actors that they grab were good actors, but were considered A-list people.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now, even you know what I'm saying, they are because of the MCU. They're considered A-list people. And like Chris Hemsworth was not considered an A-list person before he got cast as Thor. You know what I'm saying? That Thor helped make him the big person that he is. So, really, if you want to go with A-listers, I mean, maybe Robert Downey, Samuel Jackson. Like, these are people that they brought in that are like A-listers and good actors. Later online they went and grabbed what's her name who plays Carol Danvers, damn, right now. Captain Marvel. yeah. Anyway,
we get it.
Her. Yeah. So anyway, but there's a lot of these characters, that started out in the MCU and just kind of blew up more, right? Yeah. They don't have to be A-list, but they have to be. Their chops got to be good. Their chops got to be on point. They got to have some chops. I don't think they're gonna go so new where these people are, because going so new is making her insignificant. You want to bring attention to the role, especially if they're gonna bring her in Black Panther 2, and you want to bring attention to the role, which is probably why Beyonce's team decided to throw those lies out there and say, hey, Beyonce, it's just a little nice. Hey, if they're not talking about you, that's the problem, right? So at least they're talking about you, good or bad. Yep. There's no such thing as infamous anymore. It's just famous.
Her team was like, let's shoot our shot.
Yeah, that shot. Famous and infamous is the same thing now nowadays. So they tried. Epic fail, but they tried. So it's gonna have to be someone. So that's a good segue to if you guys got anybody in mind that you wanted to bring to the table who you think would be a good fit to play the role. I'll give you up to 3. If you don't have 3, that's okay. If you have more than 3, type it in the chat room.
Okay. I got 3.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Gina, then we'll go back around.
So my top pick in my household, I think, is DeWanda Wise, and she's got to have it.
Yeah.
Number 2. Good. Number 2 is Gail. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Nakone Mabalane, and she's from Blood and Water. I don't know if you guys have seen that. She's the mom. That new Netflix show, the South African show. Yeah, she played mother. I can put the link in the.
Yeah, you can put the link in there. We'll see, or tell me how to spell her name. I'll bring her name up.
And then my third is Anna Diop, and she is from Teen Titans. Yeah.
We got a couple of the same. I had Wise, but she's in my, kind of like as I'll get back to her. Kev, what you got? Don't come with old girl from the other one. I guess you are. That's what you think. But I just don't. I mean, realistically, I don't see that happening. You know how they are, man. They try to clean sweep.
Listen, as a fan, I can only hope. You can only wish. I'm not gonna lie. I prayed on the altar for Olivia Munn to become Psylocke.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I did because listen, you name me somebody else in the industry that can side by side.
She fits perfectly. Yeah, she was perfect.
So I was just like, please let it be her, and it was. So I was thankful for that. I'm going to mention my honorable mention first.
Okay.
Because I throw her in the mix of everything. Paula Patton, God damn it.
Oh God. I love Paula. She got the chops now, most definitely.
She got the chops. She's too light. Yeah, she gotta sit out in the sun a little bit. But she has to height.
A lot of bit, like what Gina said, a lot of bit.
Yeah.
She's tall. You know, she's tall. She has the acting chops. The only thing I can't see her doing is I don't think she would cut her hair. I don't think she would go for the mohawk. I think she would go with the original Storm with the the full head of hair.
I thought she had short hair like.
Oh, did she have short hair?
Like 2 years ago, maybe she cut it really short after she divorced.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she did. She did.
Yeah.
She did.
So she might.
Yeah, she did the classic. I'm leaving you.
Man, they trust me. Yeah. Trust me. They signed that check. She gonna cut that hair. They gonna be like, look, we got this nice check for you. Plus, you joined the MCU. You part, blah blah blah. You usher in. She would do it. But go ahead. That is your honorable mention. So who's your top?
All right. Now here's my main three. My first pick, which I know is not going to happen, but I got to put her on the list anyway, is Yaya DaCosta.
Okay.
Next up is, let me scroll down here.
I'm gonna go back around and try to bring some pictures of these people y'all are putting up there so the people watching.
My main pick. Yeah, she's my main pick. She has her eyes. Yeah, Tika something. She has the eyes. If you look at her eyes, just her whole facial features, her nose, that button nose, like she has that look of how Storm looks in the comic book. The cute button.
Kind of short though. No?
Huh?
Isn't she a little short?
Yeah, that's the only thing. She is a little short. That's the only thing. She's height disadvantage. But there's nothing a pair of heels can't. It's nothing a pair of heels can't fix.
There's Tika.
Yeah.
And my last one is I don't want to say her. I really want to pick Homegirl, but she's too light. And I forget her name escapes me, but the oldest sister from the new Charm.
I know you're talking about. She's a little too light too. Yeah, she's tall.
Oh,
too.
the one that was in Into the Badlands.
The new Charm. Was that her? Yeah, that was her. Holy crap!
Yeah, that was her. Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, too light.
She's a little light. Yeah, she's a little light.
My solid third pick is Ryan Destiny.
What's her name? Ryan Destiny. Let's see. Let's get it.
I think she needs more experience, personally.
Right.
Yeah. I think she's too new.
What is she from, Kev?
Grownish?
From Grownish, yeah.
Grownish. Okay, yeah. Ryan Destiny. Yeah, she might be a little young too. I don't know where I don't know where exactly. I'm assuming they're going to bring Storm in her her adult age, because if they're going to attempt to do the arc of her getting with Black Panther, she can't be too young.
Yeah.
I mean, so it all depends. Plus, they've already Kev, you hate that stuff with the young stuff.
Yeah,
they already done that. They did it with your girl, Alexandra Shipp. They brought her in. She was like young Storm. You know what I mean?
At this point, we don't know what they're gonna do. So that's the only thing we can really rock with. I mean, if I'm going to really, if I'm, if I want to go for it. Hell, let's get Homegirl from Queen Sonos from the Netflix show.
What's her name? I don't know her name.
Gina, do you know her name?
No, I don't. But I know who you're talking about.
But she is African. Hold on, I'm gonna pull her name up.
She's South African, but she's also very fair. Like if we're talking about a brown skin, she's a little lighter than that on the show.
She's even a little lighter than this.
Yeah, I feel like they darkened that.
They probably did. Photoshop. Let's find a screenshot. Forget Photoshop.
But I mean, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. That's a good pick.
I don't think any of them are bad picks. Like I said, they're gonna have to take some panning pills. Get a little something to lay up under the bed or something.
It's not like they're gonna have to pull it's not like they're gonna have to pull a Zoe Saldana. And,
no.
And dark. Damn near blackface, right?
Yeah.
And also,
I never understood that. And they say she was in blackface. I mean, I know she's not fully black, but I'm just saying, that's just so weird. But anyway,
yeah.
Well, they no, but they did. They darkened. They used darker
her.
makeup on her to
Yeah.
make her look.
Yeah,
I mean, she did a good job as in the Nina Simone movie. Her acting was good, but it was just awkward looking at her being darker than what she actually is. I mean, she could have stayed out in the sun and got that color just as equally and got darker.
It just maybe she was pressed for time. Now,
Yeah.
I want you to mention your people again, Gina, because I want to bring them up too. Well, I already know about. I have Anna's on my list, and so is DeWanda. So I'll bring them up anyway. Okay. What was the other one? That
Gail, and the last name is Nkoane.
NKO what?
ANE. And the second part of her last name is MABALANE.
I can't even spell when you're saying it to me.
So yeah, those first two pictures, that's her. Okay, so the one with the locks, that's how she
has very nice bone structure too. I like that. She's got model written all over her. Mm-hmm. She must have started as a model. You know what I mean? She's got a very small structure. I'm not gonna try to say her name. Her name is Gail something.
Nkoane, maybe?
We're gonna call her Gail with the nice bone structure. That's what we're gonna call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And once again, these people are they're not bad picks at all, There's Anna right there.
I mean, some other good shots too. Some other good potential ones is Kiki Lane. And Homegirl from what about Homegirl from How to Get Away with Murder? Aja Naomi King. I think that's her name.
What the hell? Y'all coming with these names. I ain't gonna be able to spell them, so you talking about some Aja Naomi King?
Yes, AJA. AJA.
AJA. Oh, yeah, there she go.
Naomi King.
There it is. Homegirl here.
Yeah, she also seems a little young, but yeah, depending on how they go.
A little green, maybe. We'll see how which direction they go with it. All right, all fair things to say. I'm gonna bring mine on, and like I said, I have two. We kind of have two because my honorable mention is DeWanda Wise, and
I totally agree with that one. That one, yeah.
She's my honorable mention. I'm gonna bring her up here. Here's some things because she's been lobbying for it. People have she's been lobbying to play Storm. And a lot of people have been lobbying for her. Maybe it's from her team or whatever. I think that's a good pick as well. She's my honorable mention because I'm just kind of going for. I think she's got the right, as you can see, depending on what the picture is, but she has pretty much the right skin tone, in my opinion. That what we're looking for. Not that any of them don't have the right skin tone, but
How tall is she?
I'll have to look it up because I'm not sure how tall DeWanda Wise is.
Her eyes are right though. Her eyebrows. Yeah. I can't tell by are those fully her eyebrows or are those all penciled in?
You never know. You never know. You gotta ask her. You gotta ask her makeup artist about that. We'll never know. She's 5'6".
That's not bad. Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah, you throw some 2-inch, 3-inch heels on her with she'll be right.
She'll be fine. So that's she's my honorable mention. There's also a picture of her right here. Someone actually did Storm. Mock-up.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Which is cool. Once again, like I said, here's a little zoom in there of her and this little Storm mock-up thing that they did. Cool. She's my honorable mention, but I would not. And the reason why she's my honorable mention because I would not have any problem with them picking her to do it. You know, she, like I said, she's kind of lobbying for it, so you never know.
Yeah.
So now another person on my list is let's see. I have I said Anna like before. The other one that wasn't Anna, Wanda Wise. This girl here, she's from American Gods, I think.
Oh, I heard she's also expressed interest in playing that role.
Yeah. Here's her here. Her name is Yeti. What is her last name? Let me just. Here we go with the spelling again. But anyway, she's the one from American Gods. So we're gonna go there. I'm trying. There she go. Yeti Badaki. That's her name. Yep. This is her, and this is the picture that I grabbed of her. And yeah, she's been lobbying for it as well. She was happy when she got the American Gods gig. Mm-hmm. She plays Bilquis, I think, the character Bilquis, who's like the goddess of love or something like that on that show. I don't follow that show, but it's I hear good things about it. Then we already said DeWanda Wise, and then this one here, Deborah. What's her name? She has another Deborah. Oh, Ayarande. So I got some pictures of her too.
Where is she from?
Let's see. What is she from? She's from something like Luke Cage. She was in Luke Cage. She was in Girls Trip. She was in
okay.
Yeah, so she's in a few things. So she's already on the Marvel radar. I actually made some notes about that too. Let me bring that up. One reason why I have her on there is she's already on the Marvel radar, right? There's my picks for Storm. She's on the Marvel radar. She is African. She's from Nigeria. Like I said, we know that. I brought that up in the beginning. Doesn't necessarily they have to be African, but you will guaranteed an authentic accent if they are from that area. So that's why that was my reason for choosing African actress. She's from Nigeria. She's already on the radar. She was in Luke Cage. She's pretty decent acting training, just look at her training or whatever. The looks, I think she's definitely fits the complexion. Not bad. Then of course, we said DeWanda. We said I said her too. My point with Yeti was same thing. She's also Nigerian. Good actor from what I hear. I don't follow the show, but Anna is my number one. Anna Diop is my number one. Actually from West Africa, Senegal. Okay. West Africa. She has superhero experience, right? She's a superhero already. One of my main reasons for picking her, and here's a more, some close-ups of her, whatever. I like how I just like how her structure is too. Here's a little picture of her with Storm. That's the Storm thing there. I did that myself, just a quick little. Cool. I did a quick little a Photoshop hack up job real quick. It's just cool. White in the eyes, and I'm like, I think that's great, man. Yeah, I think she. I didn't have time to turn her hair white. That took me too long. I ain't that good at Photoshop. I mean, it took me a minute. I'd have figured it out, but I think when she has her hair straight and stuff like that, I think she's. And like I said, I like her in Titans. Actually,
she's great in Titans. Yeah.
I like her Titans. And my main reason why I want her to play it because it'll be a nice kick in the nuts to DC because DC has made me so mad lately. That'd be a nice kick in the nuts if Marvel snatched her from DC. That would be great.
Oh,
that would be
what? I'm wondering if her contract with DC prohibits her from even, being considered for Storm.
That's a good question.
Well, if she's, it's a good question, but it all depends. How that, how long is her contract with this show and stuff like that. We don't even know how long this show is gonna last, which is a good segue to our next topic. So, but yeah, these are our picks. I think we all had some nice picks. I think Anna Anna is my top pick because I just feel that she is. I think she's more equipped to do it, man. Like I said, she got that superhero experience. She and like you said, I really enjoy her work in Titans. So Titans,
I'm reading it's renewed and it's gonna come back in the fall.
Yeah, it definitely has a third season.
Is Titans coming back to the whatever the DC channel is? I just refuse to pay for that. Is it coming to HBO Max?
I don't know if it's coming to HBO Max. I'm not sure because everything got complicated, right? Because of AT&T swooping in and acquiring Warner Brothers. So that brings us to our next topic, Geoff Johns.
Hold on, let me get my cup of tea. Hold on. Okay, I got my tea.
You got your tea. Sip your tea.
Yeah.
So Geoff Johns.
I just found. Sorry, I think it is on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it got renewed to go on HBO Max. Makes sense. Because I think they're gonna do away with that DC streaming thing. They're probably gonna do away with that because I don't know.
Yeah, I thought initially that was the plan. Because that was one of the reasons why they canceled Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
was because of the HBO Max thing.
Yeah, probably so. So more than likely, so it's renewed for that. I think Geoff Johns was actually heading that DC streaming thing. So it's been rumored that Geoff Johns, who is who we thought was going to be set up to be the Kevin Feige of DC universe, like I mentioned at the top of the show, it's been brought out that Geoff allegedly had a lot to do with Zack Snyder getting ousted, and he did it behind his back. He went behind his back and got him ousted. However, whatever he did, I believe, because remember, Geoff Johns was, for a brief moment, he was like the head of the DCEU, right? He got that, and while he was there, he used that opportunity to screw Zack Snyder over and get him ousted. Now, there's been numerous reports of it. I remember watching. Shout out to Grace over there at Beyond the Trailer. She mentioned that as well. She brought it to our attention. A couple other people brought it up, and there's not just rumors. It's not just rumors anymore. You got people out there. Old girl who was the other. What's her name? Diane Nelson. Here's the tweet with Diane Nelson where she's like, somebody
dynamic duo.
Yes, somebody tweeted to her, you couldn't defend Zack's movies and whatever little darkness there is, or darkness it was, busy playing politics then. They said too busy helping her buddy Geoff destroy his work from inside, right? And I'm gonna share that. Huh?
I said it's funny. Her answer is so funny.
Yeah, her answer is hilarious. I'm gonna actually share. Let me share this. I'm gonna share the screen, bring that up so people can see it. Share screens. So right there is where that tweet is there, and that's what he said. Too busy helping her buddy Geoff destroy his work from inside. And her answer was, "He's no buddy of mine. He's no buddy of mine."
But she didn't deny the destroying part.
Exactly. After all that, that's what she got out of it. All she saw was buddy. She said, they just basically called her, they just accused her for sabotaging their own company, from inside the work. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Zack Snyder was representing the DCEU, and they just accused her of sabotaging it from inside. All she saw was her buddy, Geoff Johns. She said, he's no buddy of mine. So there you have it. There's further proof right there. Also, like I said, Geoff it's been not just rumored, it's been all throughout the business that Geoff Johns is not a very likable person. He's a great comic writer. He's a very good writer, period, as far as storytelling. Because he did a lot of the writing for the Titan stuff, and I thought the Titan stuff was pretty tight. You know what I mean? He did a lot of writing for that. But he's not the most likable person in the world. So a lot of people just thought that he's a jerk. A lot of people say that he's a jerk. So I mean, that's what it is. They also talk about. They said, Jeff, here's a quote off of a site where it says, Geoff Johns is pretty much disliked by everybody. So,
damn.
They love Jim Lee. Jim Lee is beloved. So that's great. But Geoff Johns was banished from, now this is actually the words. Let me rephrase that. This was actually the words from Grace, when she has said that. Geoff Johns was pretty much banished from Birds of Prey, and he was the head of the DCU for a hot minute, and that is what allowed him to do that to Zack Snyder. Because it says here where they say, inexplicably, Geoff Johns is still one of the producers on the movie. He is listed as the first, even though he is widely disliked at Warner Brothers. That's how she kind of started the whole thing about Geoff Johns being disliked. He's disliked at Warner Brothers. In fact, I can tell you, Johns is pretty much the one who was responsible for Zack Snyder getting replaced by Joss Whedon. He did it behind his back. He said, "That's all I'll tell you today," she said. That's really bad. So that's exactly what she said there. That's all I'll tell you today. It's really bad. And I think we lost Kev, but I'm sure he'll get back on.
Yeah.
He just couldn't take it. He's like, I just can't take it. So then when she goes on and says, yeah, he's pretty much disliked by everybody. And he was allowed to do that to Zack Snyder, but everybody hated him. So he got banished to the DC streaming universe. So he got banished. That's the word she used. Banished to the DC universe streaming service. And maybe he will redeem himself with Stargirl, which I hear is massively delayed because I hear he doesn't know what he's doing as a showrunner. She also says she said he doesn't know how to be a showrunner. I've heard
good things about it, though.
No. She was saying that the show was delayed because Geoff Johns doesn't know how to be a showrunner. See, here's the difference between, this is why he'll never be Feige, because see, Kevin Feige has a panel of experts that help advise him when it comes to the comic stuff, right? But Kevin Feige is an experienced producer. He produced on various films already, and I'll bring Kev back in. You back in, Kev. I was just saying that Kevin Feige, the difference is Kevin Feige is an experienced producer. He was on other superhero films where he was, he took a later, a lower role, but he was a producer on other films, superhero films, comic book films for Marvel. So he has experience. In this article where I was just quoting Grace from Beyond the Trailer, she says right here that Geoff Johns, who's heading up, the word she used was banished. She said he was banished to the DC Universe streaming service because he pretty much, everybody hates him at Warner Brothers. And so with that being said, they said maybe he'll redeem himself with Stargirl, which I hear is massively delayed because he doesn't know how to be a showrunner. See, this is what I'm saying. He doesn't have experience on that end. He's a comic writer, that's where he kind of, and he doesn't have a lot of experience on the film end. So, and it's showing now. His inexperience is showing. And my theory is, and I think Kev agrees with me on this. I'll see what you think, Gina. My theory is that because the question remains, why would Geoff Johns do this? To Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was brought in to do a specific thing, right? Zack Snyder, was brought in to lead this DCEU universe. He drew out the vision. He had Jim Lee literally draw out the vision for him, and with the storyboards and everything. Okay, he consulted people like Nolan. Nolan was a big consultant on Man of Steel, and a producer on Man of Steel. You know what I mean? So he had that consulting going on there. Plus, Zach is a comic fan himself. He's an artist. He respects art. That's why he always tries to do his like freaking panels jumping off the page in his films, because it looked like comic panels jumping off the page because he respects art. Because he is an artist. He actually has that's what he went to school for. He's an art major. You know what I mean? Like, it's, so he respects art. But see, my theory is Geoff Johns wanted to be the man. He wanted to be Kevin Feige. He might have heard those little whispers that he could be the Kevin Feige of DC. And when he saw that Zack Snyder was not doing what he wanted, my theory is that he sabotaged. He decided to sabotage him, and he got the other chick on board with him, and she probably said, "Yeah, I'm with it too," even though she said he ain't no buddy of mine. But she said it. That's from her own words. That's from her own little.
She's trying to distance herself.
She's trying to distance herself. Yeah, I agree. Trying to distance herself from him. But, I think he was trying to sabotage him on purpose because he wanted to be that dude. He wanted to be the dude. He wanted to get all the credit. He wanted to be Kevin Feige. Mm-hmm. Because Kevin Feige, no matter what, the credit comes back to him most of the time. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, he deserves it. But I'm just saying, it comes back to him. So, because he, and he deserves that credit. Johns, I think he just got a little ahead of himself. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts on that, both of you?
I mean, I think your theory is correct. I mean, why else would he do that? Because it had to be for selfish reasons, because basically what they ended up doing was going against Zack Snyder and what the fans ended up wanting to begin with. So it had to be a selfish, single-minded kind of thinking, instead of thinking, what do the fans want? Zack Snyder's take on things are a little dark because, I was reading some of the articles you shared, but the fans want dark. Like, come on. So
I mean, it's he went at Man. You could tell that Nolan did some consulting on Man of Steel, because he went at Man of Steel from a realistic perspective. Mm-hmm. We already said that he went at it from a realistic perspective of an alien
which
coming down, which I thought was the right thing to do. We know how the government would be right on top of trying to figure out who this alien is, trying to use them for a weapon or something like that, try to figure out how to weaponize them, and the world would be afraid. Some people would welcome it, welcome him, welcome it. Some people, but a lot of people would be afraid, which is which was the basis of his whole story for Batman vs Superman, where Batman represented the people. He represented
fear.
He represented the people that was the fear and stuff like that, and he knew that, hey, this guy at any time could burn this planet down and just say forget it. Because of Zod and everything that happened with that, it proves that these people can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That was the point. And all that destruction that they had. Now, a lot of people didn't like the way they thought that the destruction was too much, like that scene when they're fighting. But like I said, if you want to say it was too much destruction, okay, fine. But that's realistic. That's realistic.
Yep.
If two super beings are flying around, punching each other, these dudes are so powerful. Their punches cause vibrations like earthquakes almost.
Right.
So, but that's realistic. That's realistic.
Listen, you are a fool, and I say that with the utmost respect to a human being. You are a fool if you think that an alien can crack the sky physically and fight another alien, and there's not going to be any destruction, especially if the Earth, let's call him the Earth alien, is not well versed in how to battle said aliens coming from outer space. He's not. His immediate thought is to stop the threat. He's not thinking with the logic of a Batman, of thinking about collateral damage and other aspects of it, which is why in B versus Superman, they took the battle out of the city, because they learned a lesson of, we can't keep doing this around humanity, because people are going to get killed, and especially in that case. I mean, what don't people understand? This is not Jeff. This is not Donner. This is not the days of baseball and apple pie, where everything is just like, oh, save my cat from the tree. And I know I have the same running rhetoric, but it's like
there did that. Like
it's 2020. It's 2020. You got you. I hate to put it like this, but listen, police officers ain't good.
I gotta do with Superman.
The reality is there is evil in the world. There are people who don't give a damn. You got a guy. You have an alien. You have an alien coming from space that was locked in prison first and foremost. Secondly, was locked in prison after his homeworld was destroyed. Now you have another alien that holds the key to him restoring his homeworld.
Right.
What do you think he's going to do? This is what this Zod was built to protect Krypton at all costs. That's what he was designed to do.
Yeah.
Remember,
they were. If you remember the story, and I'm sure you do, and people may not remember the story. They had this whole thing where everyone, had their own design. The codexes and stuff like that they were designed certain ways, so they didn't really have like free will like that. The only one who was born free will was Kal-El, because when he was born, they decided not to make him this one thing. Jor-El said, I'm going to save his life, and he's going to save other people's lives. So that's when they took the codex and kind of like broke it up and put it in there, put it into him. You know what I mean? So it's like, like I said, like you were saying, Zod was built to do that. That's all he can do. That's all he thought about doing. That's why it was necessary to have to end his life, because he would have never stopped. He would have never, ever, ever stopped. He was going to kill that innocent family. He said it. He's saying, don't do it. He's trying to stop him. Stop, please stop. Never. He said it. Never. he was this close to chopping that family in half with his heat ray. And yeah, that's what I said. He was gonna chop them in half, burn them to crisp. But Superman did what he had to do. And as you see, he didn't like doing it. He screamed. He screamed in pain. He screamed in anger and hurt that he had he had to take his life to save the life of his new family, the humans. You know what I mean? Humans, humans didn't ask for this. They didn't know, they didn't ask for him to come there. So why should they have to suffer? Why should a family, it was like a family of 3 or something like that. Why should a family have to die because this dude is this is what he does. So
now, with that point you just said, see that's what bothers me about these turn a light on people.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more human than that. Like there's a choice that you have to make. Like the choice that's always given. The sacrifice the few for the many.
Yeah.
Zod had to die.
Yeah.
It was either he died or humanity died.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, you can't get no more Donner than that. Zack Snyder did exactly the same thing Donner did, except for he shunned the light on everything. Where Donner just showed the light on the goodness of it. Zack shunned the light on everything. Like, look, this is the reality of this. This is what would actually happen. Yeah. I mean, you had even the police, even the military was like, listen, kill them both. Later for choosing a side, kill them both.
Kill them both.
It wasn't.
Here's the deal with that too. I mean, you mentioned Donner, even though there's a Donner cut of Superman 2, he didn't direct the original. But the bottom line is this: what do you think happened to Zod and the other two when they fell down? You don't know what happened to them. They probably died when he threw Zod and Zod, boom, and he falls down. And he was in the Fortress of Solitude. Wherever he fell in, what did he fall to? A prison?
Right.
His ass was dead. That's what happened. And, I mean, what else? What do you think could have happened? See, just because people die off, that's just like with the other Batman films and stuff like that. When they talk, they complain about that. Batman doesn't kill and blah, blah, blah. What do you think is happening to all of these people? They're just dying off screen. That's all it is. They just die and get killed on screen. But Batman is rolling in the Batmobile. Even let's go all the way back to the first one with Tim. Oh my God,
Burton.
Tim Burton. Batmobile has a freaking Gatling gun on it, and it's shooting. What do you think he's shooting out of that damn thing? You know what I'm saying? People are dying. They're just dying off camera. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. Does Batman intentionally kill? No, he's not. He's got a code where he doesn't intentionally kill. He's just been, but some things are unavoidable. He does not set out to go out and kill. That he does not do. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he's constantly getting on his son Damian because Damian is also more kill him. Damian is the new Ra's al Ghul. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, let's get him. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
So he's constantly trying to tell Damian, no, that's not the right way. But not to get off the subject, my point is Zack Snyder was brought to do exactly what he did. This dude, Geoff Johns, didn't like the darkness that was brought to the stage. And what he was doing was, remember, he originally thought that he had a certain amount of films to build the story arc of Superman. The Superman, you want to say that Clark Kent was not the wholesome, happy-go-lucky Clark Kent that everybody was used to seeing all the time. He had to build up to that, right? It's like he never really had that opportunity to build that arc into, because he had to first accept that he was even going to be Superman. You know what I'm saying? He had to accept that. You know, one of the lessons of accepting things that he can't change is almost the same. All of that comes back to it. The lesson. I mean, the decision to kill Zod was just like the decision to not save his father. You see what I'm saying? It was the same thing, because he knew he knew that the father said, if you expose your powers now, it's going to be hell for the rest of your life, and for your mother and us, whatever. And that's why people said, "Oh, why would he just save him? Why would he let him die?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, Jonathan Kent died of a heart attack." Okay, that's fine. That's your typical, way of somebody dying. My uncle used to say, "Everybody dies of a heart attack." So, anyway, he's true. Everybody kind of dies of a heart attack. So these are the decisions he had to make. Geoff Johns wanted the happy-go-lucky-ish going on, the Boy Scout stuff. He's still a Boy Scout because of how he was raised. Right, you know what I'm saying? He just never had the chance to show it. Remember, Zach originally thought he had like 6 films to do this in, to bring the arc. You know what I mean? From Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, the 3 Justice League movies originally that he had. You know what I'm saying?
And even Henry commented on that too. He said he wants the opportunity to complete the arc of Superman.
Exactly. He wants the opportunity to complete the arc of Superman, and he'll get that opportunity thanks to AT&T. Well, I tell you, if your phone service wasn't so crappy, I'd get your phone service. I'm so happy. But yeah.
But what's kind of crazy about it though is, when did he not present himself as the Boy Scout? We have this image of what Boy Scouts are. And I get what you're saying, but let's just really analyze the Boy Scout. Like if you want to go there, if we want to say the Boy Scout, everybody wants to see the Boy Scout. Well, what do Boy Scouts do? What's the job of a Boy Scout? It's not just all he carried himself well. When have you heard Superman curse?
Nope.
Have you heard Superman befoul anyone? Did you see Superman go out of character or even Clark Kent for that matter, step out of character and just start beating people for no apparent reason? Even when they laid hands on his woman, he still didn't go off the rails. He went in and he handled business when he actually has the power. Let's take it all the way back to when he was a kid.
He lost it though when they were messing with the mother.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You don't mess with nobody's mama. That's the one rule. That's the one rule across the board. You don't mess with nobody's mama. I don't care who it is. You mess with somebody's mama, the Boy Scout goes out the window. I got to whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. But even as a child, even when he was at a young age, when the bullies were messing with him, what did he do? He had restraint. He grabbed the fence and he squoze that pipe until he bent it in his hand, because he knew if he got up off the ground, he would finish that kid. Like literally would have finished him.
Yeah.
And so I mean, when has he not presented himself as the Boy Scout? He's always presented himself as the Boy Scout. He's always put his best foot forward, even when humanity was like, you know what, false god. He never claimed to be a god. You put him on that pedestal.
You put him on that pedestal, and he actually always put others before himself. He always did that. He always did that. Like I said, other than when he lost it with the mother thing, that was. I forgot what movie it was, when it was like, he said something about your mom, and he was like, "Oh, my mama dead. Now I gotta cut you." I gotta cut you. But he lost it off. But yeah, I get it. I agree. I mean, I guess I don't know, man. People are just so stuck in their ways with Superman, yo. Like Superman, like you said, as long as he's upholding those values that he always does, which he was, all right. Humans first. Like, don't, not, don't take for granted that all your power that you have, people can get hurt. So he can be fighting and have, you saw that he's fighting and saving people at the same time too. You know what I'm saying? Like you see him doing that. They exposed it in Superman too. I finally figured out this Superman. I figured out his weakness. He cares. He actually cares for these Earth creatures. Like pets. So I mean, that's what it was. So, but that's the same thing. I mean, it was still, he still had that. But it was all of that destruction that was happening was out of his control. He still has to check. It's still 3-on-1, and he's got to check these cats. You know what I'm saying? He's still got to fight dudes that got the same amount of powers that he got. It's all good.
And to your point on that, like even with the fighting that they did, again, that was Donner not. And I think honestly it was budgetary reasons, because I honestly believe budgetary and technology issues reasons why he didn't do he didn't do what Zack Snyder did. You know what I'm saying? You have to, in order for budgetary reasons, you're not going to at that point in time in the 80s, right? And in the 80s, because of the technology with film, you're not gonna, if you can't make it look as realistic as possible, you're not gonna show that kind of destruction. So you're kind of limited to a fight. That's
a good point.
And that did happen. A couple things. Remember, because it was Superman help. I hate that part. I hate that part of the movie when they crashed. Something happened and a piece of a building fell down, and somebody got hurt. And she was like, Superman, help. I was just like, oh my God, I hated that part of the movie. But it did happen. So there was some bystanders that got injured, but in that fight between him and Zod, like he did the best he could, And but then when they, of course, when she's like, hey, take the end of this. She didn't know what it was called, a bus. She's like, take the other end of this. And he's like, no, don't throw it. The people. You know what I mean? Zod's like, throw it.
The humanity.
Throw it. Yo, Zod was just so gangster. I was happy that was another thing. They chose the right person on both ends. The first Zod, he was great. He was iconic. I loved him. But the second dude that they grabbed up, the dude that played in Man of Steel, he was perfect to play Zod, because that dude, I remember seeing him on Boardwalk Empire, and I saw Michael Shannon. Yeah, Michael Shannon. I said, yo, this dude will flip in a heartbeat. I was like, I know he's gonna play Zod ill, because I saw him flip it on Boardwalk Empire. I was like, yo, this dude's, he can go from 0 to 100. Like he could be so calm and just be like, and just go into it, Like he is great.
Yep.
When he was cast as Zod, so he's gonna be perfect. He's like what I like to call the James. He's the James Amos of not James Amos. He's the he's the James from Good Times of Superman. John Amos, It's Jake, get on. Like, he was crazy with it. But like I said, overall, to wrap up this whole thing, Geoff Johns, it hurt my soul to read this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was hurt to read this, man, because I was rooting for Geoff Johns. But now that the more I read it, the more I'm just like, man, you suck. I'm like, why would you do that, man? Why would you sabotage your own universe?
It took me a half an hour to post that inside of our room. After I heard the interview, I was like literally. It's like somebody punched me in the chest. Like, really, man? We've been rooting
it took
for
a lot out of me, man, because I've been rooting for him. I've been defending him. We've been like, he's gonna be the next Kevin Feige. He's gonna be this and that. And I'm just like, yo, this dude is. Like I said, according to Grace, she said he was banished. That was the word she used. banished to the DC streaming universe. So that puts a pin into what we was talking about with I said I don't know how long that streaming service is gonna last. Apparently not long at all. They probably just doing away with it, because what's the point of having a competing streaming service when you got HBO Max, which is gonna be now your streaming service?
Right.
I have a competing one, you know. So yeah, I'm sure that they decide we're gonna just get rid of that. Thus, what happens to Geoff Johns now? Is he out with everybody else? Or which now I kind of hope he is. I kind of hope he is, because
at this point,
yeah, at this point, go write comics.
Well, he's always going to be, you know, he's always going to write comics. That's what he does, you know. That's what he's great at. But he might be out. So that's pretty much my take on it.
As they say on Hot 97, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, congratulations, you played yourself. Yeah, I agree. So wrapping everything up, Beyonce is not. It was confirmed. You heard it here. We confirmed it. We showed you receipts. She is not a part of Black Panther 2 as of right now, till further notice. That dude Mike Donnelly, whatever his name was, who works for Disney, who's a writer, who he confirmed that she didn't even have a deal with Disney. That everyone was saying this $100 million, multi-million-dollar deal. He said she don't even have a big deal with Disney, and perhaps she'll work with them again. That's what he said. Perhaps they'll work with her again. And you know, you don't drop T like that and not have permission from somebody who's one of the higher ups in Disney, because he literally put Disney out, you know, the name out there. So, you heard that here. We confirmed it. No Beyonce. No need for the petition. You want to go ahead and sign it anyway? Just good measures. No need.
You better sign, but you better sign it as secret, because I got a feeling there's some Beehive members that are looking at that list and looking at people's names who sign into the list, and they're gonna put you on blast. They're gonna come for you.
They're gonna come for your IG page. So we also put our list. I think all of us have some pretty good picks for Storm. But all this demonstration just proves that there are still plenty of great Black actresses out there that you can choose to play this character. I think the ones that we went with, you know, they all had their ups and downs. Most of them had more experience, some experience and stuff like that. I think experience is I think we should all agree on experience is pretty important. I think in this at this phase of it, you know what I'm saying? Where they're bringing her in, because number one, where they're bringing her in, if they're going to use the arc with the Black Panther, she's already going to be surrounded by a lot of great actors.
Yeah, this is the big leagues.
This is the big leagues now. So you up in there with the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Chadwick, Angela Bassett, and Lupita. You know what I'm saying?
You at the grown folks table.
You're at the grown folks table right now. So you have to come. You gotta come with it, man. You gotta come with it. So that's important. We all kind of agreed on, you know, and it's just obviously don't want nobody taking things the wrong way. It's definitely no discrimination on light-skinned Black women. I'm just saying. I think we kind of all agreed for the continuity of the character.
We going team melanated, team extra melanated.
Team melanated. Extra melanated. You know, it's the truth. You want to stay consistent to the source material.
Yeah.
Sexy chocolate.
Right.
Sexy chocolate.
The character is drawn as how she's always drawn, right?
Yeah.
So I think we kind of all agree on that too. And I think we all agree that it doesn't have to be an A-lister, a big name, because they did put pretty much all the A-listers in Black Panther. But you know, it doesn't have to be an A-lister. They just have to have their chops up. They got to have their chops up. That's all you need.
And it has to be a right fit.
right fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has to. We talked about it off camera, Kev. She has to also be able to command the screen.
Yeah.
She has her presence needs to be regal, almost. You know what I'm saying? Because Storm always came across like that. She always came across like that.
And that's why Angela Bassett would have been perfect.
She would have been. She would have been perfect for
because
it.
she has that presence.
Yeah.
Always
now,
had.
how about not to say that they're going to do it, but how about if they flip the story somehow? Because it's all been rumored that Storm is hopefully they don't do this. But how about if they came as like, okay, Storm is from Wakanda, and they do happen to just use Angela Bassett as Storm.
Now,
I know she's too old.
She's the mother. She's too old. She's already the mother. She's already established as that character. So they're not going to use anybody that they've already. I mean, technically, you could pull about 3 or 4 people off that cast that could play Storm, including Lupita. You know what I'm saying? Like you could pull a few people off that cast that could have played Storm. You know what I mean? It could have her name Michonne. That's what I'm talking about. Michonne, she could have been Storm. You know what I'm saying? But they're established in their characters, and we all know that. We've all accepted that. But I believe that they have to have a certain command, presence. Screen presence. That's the word I was looking for. Mm-hmm. They have to have a certain screen presence when they stand up there. You know what I mean? Just like that's just how it is, man. I mean, when you think about it, what you call it was a newcomer to the game, but he commanded his screen presence. That was Hemsworth. Hemsworth was kind of newcomer to the game. He's in there with actors that they got their chops up. Downey Evans, all of that, but he did not get out. He didn't get out. Right. In his own movie, people had big chops, man, in there with him, but he stood his ground. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. He in that type of character, he's a god. You know what I'm saying? So all of them. So that's what we need. So that's what we need, Marvel, and anyone who, I don't care if you the janitor at Marvel and you see this, like break it to Marvel. Like, I was just surfing the internet and came across this show. Marvel, we need somebody. And I truly believe, in closing, I believe they definitely, because remember, Kevin Feige always says they always have people in mind. So, and there's a lot of people that's already probably they've talked to about it. Mm-hmm. And I believe at the end of the day, they'll make the right choice, but they'll make the right choice. They haven't let me down yet. I have to say that. I mean, even old girl, I did not like. I'm not gonna get on it, Kev. I did not like old girl who I like her as an actor. I just didn't like her for Carol Danvers. I just didn't really.
Okay.
I didn't like her, but she's a great actor. She's a really good actor. But I didn't like her.
Again, and I'm not gonna dig deep on it, but again, that's another. I blame those 2 writers. The movie was great. It was good, but that movie could have been better with one writer.
One director.
One director. One director.
Yeah, one director. See, that movie. That's what I said. It reminded me too much, not of the story, but like Justice League. Like you could tell the tone difference in the film. So like one director was directing it one way and one director was directing another way. And you could tell it. I did. Anybody who you don't have to be a film expert. Anybody who watches films a lot, if you really watch it, you can tell the tone.
The tone kept flip-flopping.
And why can't I think of her name? What is her name? Help me out.
Wow, I just have the name. Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Poor Brie Larson got to go back and forth, but she's, you know what I'm saying? She's you're up and you're down, you're in, you're out. I'm just like, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, what are you right now? So And yeah, like I said, there was a couple of punchlines in there. If it wasn't for Samuel Jackson, that movie would have sucked. I'm telling you, Samuel Jackson saved that movie, and because there was a lot of the punchlines just didn't punch for her. You know what I'm saying? A couple of things that she did just didn't work, and I agree with you, Kevin. You got to kind of blame that on the director on that aspect. So we'll see how it goes. Because honestly, she was better in Endgame. I liked her better in Endgame when the Russos were directing her. You know what I'm saying? She seemed she was one tone.
Yeah, you had a clear and decisive who she was.
That's Carol Danvers. Yeah. Carol Danvers is cocky. She's first of all, no offense. Thank you for your service, military people. No offense to you. But everyone knows the Air Force are cocky, motherfuckers. Yeah. That's why the Green Lantern. That's why Hal Jordan is so cocky. Air Force. You know what I'm saying? So she got that little cockiness and so she had that, and she kind of had it in Endgame, but not to the point where it was like, I don't know. It was she was a little bit. She had less role in Endgame, but I liked her better in it. And like, she's like, yeah, well, that's because you didn't have me. Like, or that caused some more real shit. Like, yo, we tried playing them, we lost, we got our asses kicked. Yeah, well, you didn't have me.
Like, and then what did she do in the end? And in the end, she came through. It's over because of me.
That's why Thor said he liked her, because she had that cockiness like him. Yeah, I like this one. You know what I'm saying? They could put the joint over. Boom. She didn't flinch. He was like, yeah, I like her. I mean, that was just right there to me did better than the whole movie. So maybe we'll talk about that next time. Yeah, but we'll wrap it up. I thank you guys for joining us. Thank everybody in the chat room over there on YouTube, people on Facebook. Appreciate you guys hanging around, listening to us talk ish, and hopefully you guys get something out of it. Hopefully we solved a little bit of controversy that was going on with the Beyonce thing. And next time we'll come back and talk about some more stuff that's all movies and all films. Gina, you're always welcome to come back. I've been trying, Kev. I've been trying to rope her in to the team. Like,
it works for you, Gina. It works for you. You need to be on board. We need to figure out how to get her a check.
Yeah, exactly. That'll get her part right. Yeah, because I'm like, if you kind of, it's like I was like the dude. That dude that's scared to ask for a date. I'm like, if you kind of sort of ain't doing nothing tomorrow after the day after tomorrow or any other day that you might want to, and you got nothing to do on your schedule, maybe you might want to. I typed it to her, I erased it like 8 times trying to figure out how can I say this to her without sounding like crazy. So all right, that's cool though. But we appreciate you coming back, and please come back again, and we'll we promise. Yeah, please come back again.
Definitely.
All right, thanks guys. Y'all chill. Y'all peace to everybody.
All right. Take care.
Peace. Good night, everybody.
Good night.